Hey, Kyle is Wonderful here again with another wrestling review. This time it's AEW Dark from July 6th, and we'll also look at this week's HeyEW with RJ City, whose special guest was Adam Cole. So we'll start with that one. That comes out every Sunday. So that was I'm gonna add it to the Dark. I do BTE and Dark Elevation together, and I'm gonna put HeyEW along with Dark. So check out those other reviews if you're wondering what happened on BTE and Dark Elevation this week. And I will get into Dark, but first we'll get into HeyEW with RJ City, whose special guest is Adam Cole. Cole's looking annoyed before it even starts. Hopefully, this isn't annoying as the Ruby Soho episode where she hated RJ, and thankfully, it's not. Adam Cole's way better at his character and acting, whereas Ruby Soho was acting that whole time because she literally she liked RJ City for real, but was acting like she didn't, and it was terrible. So, Adam Cole showing really good acting chops in this one. RJ introduces Adam Cole, who corrects RJ by saying it's Adam Cole Baby, and you can't say my name without the baby at the end, Cole says. So RJ starts the show over and says baby instead of baby. RJ says, "So you're an adult, I'm an adult. Why do you present yourself to be a baby? And you even have a beard," RJ says. So Cole's already upset. He says that's just a catchphrase for the people. RJ suggests, well, maybe like Adam Cole toddler or something. Show progression. So pretty funny so far. RJ says, if you get Baker pregnant, will you still be the baby? Cole gets super mad now and yells. RJ says, well, some couples adopt each other's moves. You can tell when someone's dating me when they stop wrestling. And this makes someone in the background crack up. Cole almost cracks up at this too. Cole says, well, I started flossing when I started dating Britt Baker. So that was interesting. RJ asked, well, in your music, it says it's all about the boom, but would you agree that Colt Boom Boom Cabana has double the boom that you do? And Cole says, well, that's a fair point, and you are correct. And Adam Cole puts over Colt Cabana. I like that. RJ mentions Boomer Sooner Jim Ross as well, but Cole just no sells that. RJ mentions Cole is a gamer that streams. How do you do both? And you might hurt your thumb and have to miss a match or something. Cole says he's the best, that's why, and that he's not a full-time streamer. He just streams when he can. RJ says, well, your streamer name is Chugs. Don't you think that gives a dangerous message to send people? They shouldn't chug their drinks. Cole gets mad again, even more mad when RJ whispers to Cole. So Cole whispers back, don't you ever whisper to me again. Great chemistry between these two. This is really entertaining. RJ says Cole is part of a gaming group that I'm not legally able to mention. Cole smiles real big at this and says, "Where they at?" Um, then RJ says, "Will there be a Dark Side of the Ring episode about gaming ruining wrestlers' careers?" Cole says, "Of course not." RJ brings up Cole's hate online about his physique. That was interesting. But then RJ makes it like a joke, and we don't get a serious response when RJ says, well, yeah, you don't, Cole, you don't have the body of a George Steele or a Buddy Rose. So, side note, those are two guys that were big, burly, stocky guys and not really looked in shape. Cole almost cracks again on this one and says, did you actually just ask that? Did you write that down and ask that out loud? Why would I want their bodies? So RJ says, well, I heard you like the scuba dive. And this makes Cole happy. He says, yes, finally, you said something good. And RJ says, but you'd think Bobby Fish would be the scuba diver of the group. And this makes Cole mad instantly again. He says, our names don't describe who we are. And RJ says, well, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was a dragon. I've seen him blow fire. Really, really good promo here. I mean, interview. RJ says a really bad undisputed pun. The only part I didn't like of this. Cole puts over the undisputed elite gets along very well. That they split their checks or take turns buying the checks at stuff. RJ says, "Well, thanks for letting me birth this interview and nurse your openness." And this ending gets a little crazy. I didn't write down everything. Go watch this. This ending made me laugh out loud, legitimately. So great episode of HeyEW, and then we'll go right into Dark. This was I think maybe the last of these tapings. They were recorded all the way a month ago now, at the beginning of June in Orlando, Florida, Universal Studios. That's where most of the Dark episodes are recorded. And our first match, so this is a good one. I mean, when I saw it was going to be this, I'm like, wow. So first thing we see is Lee Moriarty making his entrance, and while already in the ring is Leon Ruffin, formerly known as Leon Ruff, former NXT North American champion. This should be a great match. What a great way to start the show this week. And we saw Leon teaming up with Bear Country on Rampage, I think 3 weeks ago, losing the Max Caster and the Gun Club in 75 seconds. Remember, that match only came about because they wanted Max Caster to say something about NDAs. So Lee Moriarty comes in with a 7-1 record in 2022. Leon has a 0-1 singles record. He lost to Tony Nese a couple months ago on Dark. Lee Moriarty and Jonathan Gresham, if you don't remember, will fight the Gates of Agony, which is Khan and Leo, this Friday on Rampage. Lee starts the match with some really good grappling that takes down Leon, but Leon's using his agility to counter and take control. Leon works a couple of side headlocks. Leon's given up at least 20, 25 pounds to Lee here. Leon works the third side headlocks now. Moriarty fights out and then hits a big boot that makes the crowd gasp. Big aggressive strikes now by Moriarty that draws boos from the crowd. The crowd's now rallying behind Ruffin, and they chant, "Let's go, Leon." And Moriarty isn't phased and continues to work with the aggressive style. Moriarty works on the arm, but Ruffin fights out with strikes. Moriarty keeps control with more strikes back, and another chant for Leon while Moriarty works on his arm again. Now Ruffin gets out, and hits a leg lariat. Ruffin hits that Miz combo, and then the striking exchange that Moriarty actually wins with a suplex. Moriarty now hits a massive discus lariat, but Ruffin kicks out. The crowd's cheering this big time. Moriarty now works as a heel. He embraces the boos from the crowd. Moriarty does, and Leon Ruff with an amazing spring, like off the ropes. I've seen quite a few people do that, but that was a really good move. Followed by a German suplex. That looks nice. Ruffin then a dive to the outside and a spring when he goes the springboard back in later on. Leon Ruffin's arm is too hurt. Moriarty takes control, and Lee Moriarty hits the elevated flatliner for the 1-2-3. The winner is Lee Moriarty by pinfall in 8 minutes 21 seconds. Really good match. I really like that. Sorry about that. So our second match is going to be Bear Country comes out, and they come in with a tag record of 15-9, and they are the Wrestle Pro Tag Champions. Their opponents are Adrian, Alanis, and Liam Gray, who have a 0-10 tag team record in AEW. They are both from the Atlanta area, and their tag team name is The Skulk, SKULK. And they are former Full Impact Pro FIP tag champions. Of course, my throat gets a dry spell right now. I've been fine for hours. Bear Boulder and Liam Gray will start the match. Bear Boulder uses his much bigger size to take control. Liam is able to slide out of a press slam and tag in Adrian, who is bigger than Liam, but still giving up size to Bear Boulder. Bear Bronson now gets the tag in. He hits a running senton on Adrian. Taz says that Bear Country should have a baby bear, and Excalibur says, "Baby bear, you mean cub?" And Taz says, "No, I'm a Mets fan. We call them baby bears, not cubs," which is funny if you're a baseball fan. Now the crowd's chanting "Bear, bear, bear," and this makes Taz laugh a lot. Taz always is really funny whenever Bear Country's on Dark. Adrian now slaps Bear Bronson and runs away. During this, a blind tag by Liam gets them in control with a chop block and a double team. Good teamwork by the longtime teammates of the Skulk. Big boos from the crowd after a quick tag and double team on Bronson. Adrian gets sat on during a sunset flip attempt. Now Bear Boulder tags back in, takes out both men with a shoulder block at the exact same time. Bear Boulder hits a corner splash, then has Adrian up for a power bomb and also catches a top rope crossbody from Liam at the same time and then slammed him at the same time. Looked amazing. That was awesome. And then just an impressive right after that, a 2-bear cannonball senton with one of them on the other's back. They cannonball senton onto both men, both opponents in the corner. And this gets the 1-2-3 on Liam. So your winners are Bear Country by pinfall in 5 minutes 25 seconds. Good match here. Really, really high impact move by Bear Country, and Taz is hilarious as usual throughout this entire match. So next match, AQA is out now with a 4-2 record in AEW. It's been a few months since we've seen her on AEW. She was also on the ROH Supercard of Honor pre-show, beating Miranda Elise, if you remember. And then most recently, AQA lost to Athena at Warrior for the Warrior Wrestling Women's title, and now Athena was able to retain there. So her opponent is going to be Avery Breaux. We've seen her before, and Breaux is spelled like Breaux. That's the Cajun spelling they have. She's from New Orleans. She has a 0-1 record. We've seen her lose to Chris Stadlander a few months ago. And we also saw Avery on NXT Level Up last month under the name Sierra St. Pierre, and she lost to Sloane Jacobs in that one. And NXT usually doesn't bring in non-contracted wrestlers very often, so maybe they were giving Avery a look, but a month has gone by without Avery going back. Avery's looking jacked in this match, and AQA has 0 muscles on her body. AQA blocks a suplex twice, but a knee strike drops AQA. AQA then hits a springboard crossbody for a 2. AQA is really hard to say, by the way. Avery dodges a Bronco Buster and takes charge with some strikes. Avery either got more flattering gear than she has in the past, or she's gotten in like really jacked shape in the last month. Maybe a combination of both. Avery hits a nice cannonball senton, even though we just saw a 2-man version in the last match. Still really good here. Then Avery works a chin lock. Taz says she wants Avery to join Bear Country as Bear Bro. Taz is just on in one tonight. AQA hits a back elbow and a running elbow from the front to take control, and AQA hits the sling blade. That looked pretty good. Avery dodges a roundhouse kick and hits a big enziguri of her own, but AQA just pops right up from that, hits the flipping neck breaker for the 1-2-3. Your winner is AQA by pinfall in 3 minutes 42 seconds, and I hated the ending of that match. What was the point of AQA getting kicked down really hard after Avery dodges a roundhouse? Then she hits an enziguri, and then immediately, like as if she was Hawk from the Legion of Doom, AQA no sells it and hits the finisher for the win. Hate that ending. The next match, Josh Woods is out. He's the former ROH Pure Champion and a former MMA fighter. He had a lot of time in ROH, and he comes in with a record of 1-3 in AEW, and he lost the Pure title to Wheeler Yuta in his last AEW match 2 months ago. So his opponent is going to be Barrett Brown, who has a 0-1 record in AEW, losing to the Butcher on Rampage back in April. Remember when the Butcher had a random match on Rampage to set up the Butcher versus Darby Allin? So that was the person who the Butcher beat. Barrett is also Barrett Brown is a regular on NJPW Strong, and he's going to take place in the 8-team tournament, I should say, that starts this Saturday on New Japan Strong, teaming up with Mysterioso to try and become the first ever Strong Tag Team Champions. And I reviewed New Japan Strong on this channel as well, so go check those out. And Barrett Brown looks like a bunch of other people combined. I couldn't quite picture who he looks like, but he kind of reminded me of Juice Robinson and Bo Dallas mixed together. So he's got a look that, like, he just looks like 10 other people we know in the wrestling business all at once. They shake hands before the match, but I do not think this is a pure rules match, and it is not. And before the match can get going, Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling come to ringside. The match starts with some grappling and amateur style, of course, just like almost every Josh Woods match, which I love. Josh Woods has a huge size advantage in this match. Barrett Brown tries to use his speed to counter any moves that Josh might do, but fails. Josh gets a super aggressive now with a huge tackle to the knee. Barrett was like in the air jumping and got hit in the knee. Looked amazing. And then Josh kicks Barrett really hard into the ropes. That looked nasty because Barrett hit into the ropes in a weird fashion, and it looked ridiculously painful. Smart Mark Sterling's taking notes ringside while Tony Nese is drinking a protein shake. So I like that little bit of showing that those are their characters. Woods with a big time judo throw right into a nasty arm lock forces Barrett to tap out. The winner of the match is the technical beast, Josh Woods, by submission in 2 minutes 35 seconds. And man, that was a hard hitting 2.5 minute match. Nothing came out of the Tony Nese Smart Mark Sterling stuff, so I'm just assuming that'll be a match maybe on Dark next week. Sonny Kiss is out next. Now, Sonny, she's been she and she is gender fluid, but Sonny wanted to join the baddies, but they seems like AEW is not gonna go that route. But there still might be a chance for Sonny Kiss to go join the baddies. Basically, Sonny Kiss is looking for a way back on the Rampage or Dynamite by any means necessary at this point. Sonny has a record of 5-3 in 2022 and a 31-43 overall in AEW. Sonny's opponent tonight will be Lamar Diggs. He's got a 0-1 record in AEW. Diggs is at least twice as large as Sonny, and Diggs lost to Nick Camarado on Dark back in February. Diggs is currently in his second reign as the Spartan Pro Heavyweight Champion. He won the title from 72-year-old Mike Jackson, who we just saw on Slammiversary, and is also a regular on GCW. So shout out Mike Jackson. Diggs throws Sonny to the other side of the ring right at the start. Remember, Diggs is much larger here. Diggs blocks a monkey flip and then hits a huge Beal. Not quite as good as nobody could be quite as good as Keith Lee's Beal, but I would say 75% of the lift at least, maybe 80%. So good Beal here from Diggs. Sonny dodges a stinger splash and then hits a really bad looking cartwheel uppercut. Diggs catches a crossbody and hits a fallaway slam now. Sonny counters a delayed vertical suplex because it was Diggs had Sonny up for too long on the delay part, and then counters a sit down splash, but it was terribly mistimed. And Sonny was already gone for about 2 seconds when Diggs went to go sit down on Sonny. Sonny then hits a terrible looking lucha move to go into a crossface that makes Diggs tap out. Really bad match here. And your winner is Sonny Kiss by submission in 2 minutes, 26 seconds. And maybe AEW knows what they're doing after all by keeping Sonny off TV, because that was terrible. Let's just move on to the next one. Aaron Solo's making his entrance, and he's accompanied by QT Marshall. Solo has a record of 19-61. His opponent will be Fuego del Sol, who also gets an entrance, and he'll come again. No normal gear for Fuego, so he's definitely acting like Sammy stole his gear and didn't give it back. If you remember when Sammy Guevara was dressed as Fuego. So Fuego has a 4-4 record in 2022 and a 12-57 record overall. Taz lies right at the beginning and says Fuego's actually 52 years old under that mask. That was funny. Fuego starts strong, but QT helps Solo to take advantage. Solo then rams Fuego's back into the back into the apron on the outside. Excalibur botches a joke about QT's shirt by mixing up Nicaragua's and Costa Rica's flags, so that was botched. Fuego battles back, but then gets hip tossed into the corner by Solo. That looked amazing. That was a great looking move. Crowds all over QT and just booing in general. Fuego then hits a flurry of kicks, really good looking kicks here from Fuego. Then leaping neck breaker to get back in control. Fuego then hits another great move, a springboard moonsault to the outside. Awesome move, awesome match by Fuego here. Fuego hits a great looking Harris, then his tornado DDT into the bridging chinlock that we saw him win a match on Dark last week with. He's now going, tornado DDT was his finisher and still kind of is, but now he's going, instead of for the pin, putting a bridging chin lock type deal. It's almost like a cattle mutilation, but without the arms being involved. And Solo taps, but QT had the referee distracted, but so the match is not over. Solo then hits a corkscrew kick and a nice suplex. I thought that might have been it, but it's only a 2 count. Fuego then counters and rolls up with a pin with the legs captured. It was one of those crazy pins that's hard to get out of for the 1, 2, 3. The winner is Fuego del Sol by pinfall in 5 minutes, 27 seconds. And that might have been the match of the night. I also enjoyed that Leon Ruff versus Lee Moriarty match, but that one had a lot of slow prodding moments in it, even though it was only 8 minutes long. It was unnecessary to have slow prodding moments. This one was pretty good throughout. In 50, I guess if they made that Moriarty Ruffin match 5.5 minutes like this one, it would have been just like it wouldn't have had those slow segments. Anyway, we've got 2 more matches left. I know Dynamite's just starting now, so I'm going to get going to that. And I will be back right as Dynamite ends, or hopefully as soon as I can after Dynamite ends with the review of Dynamite. So we got 2 more matches here. Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh come out with Sonjay Dutt. They have a tag record of 2-0. We saw them get another victory on Elevation last night as a tag team. So their opponents already in the ring are Gus De La Vega and Darian Bengston. We've seen Darian Bengston on AEW before. He's got a record of 0-7. Gus De La Vega, on the other hand, doesn't even have a profile on CageMatch.net, which Satnam Singh doesn't either. But I don't remember seeing Gus De La Vega before, so maybe this is his debut, but I could be wrong. Lethal and Darian start the match. They start a little bit even, but then Lethal gets advantage. Gus now tags in and takes down Lethal with some amateur wrestling. Gus shows some nice agility, but Lethal is able to catch him with a cartwheel drop kick, and then a blind tag by Darian allows them to hit a double team drop kick Russian leg sweep on Lethal. Lethal now teases the tag in Satnam, but does it anyway, so it wasn't much of a tease. They try to double team Satnam Singh, but fail. Lethal dives to the outside now on Gus, and Satnam hits a big boot on Darian. Massive power bomb by Singh for the 1-2-3. Your winners are Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh by pinfall in 4 minutes 11 seconds. And there was a new woman match referee in this match. So, first of all, I mean, the power bomb was nice, but I really like the Eye of the Storm that Singh has been doing like he did last night as a finisher. I like that way better than the power bomb. So hopefully he goes back to the Eye of the Storm in the future. But Lethal says into the camera, nobody can beat Satnam Singh. Sonjay says, what are you going to do about it? So now it's time for our main event. And this has been a feud that's been building over the last few weeks on Dark. We get the full Wingman brigade out, all 4 of them. That's Cezar, Bononi, JD Drake, Pretty Peter Avalon, and the Hollywood hunk Ryan Nemeth. All the Wingmen come out, and then representing Dark Order in this match, these 2 factions have been feuding for weeks now. It will be Alex Reynolds, Evil Uno, John Silver, and 10. So starting the match will be Uno and Nemeth. Uno takes control, and we get a bunch of quick tags by the Dark Order to start out. JD Drake eventually tags in, and he's fighting Reynolds in the ring. Cezar Bononi kicks Reynolds off the apron at a point. Now they isolate Reynolds in their corner with quick tags by the Wingmen. Pretty Peter hits some moves and then distracts the ref so that the rest of the Wingmen can get cheap shots. John Silver runs in to break up the pin, and throughout this entire match, the crowd has been chanting, "We want Johnny." JD now tags in and hits a nice swinging neck breaker on Reynolds, then tags in Nemeth. Johnny Hungy finally gets the hot tag and takes everyone out. Really good moves on the much bigger guys. And nasty brainbuster to Pretty Peter, who somehow kicks out. I thought that was going to be it. Evil Uno now tags in, but misses the top rope senton, the swanton bomb on Peter. JD Drake now hits a cannonball senton in the corner and pause. We've had 8 matches tonight, and that's the 3rd cannonball senton in the corner of the night. So just like last week when we had 3 different delayed vertical suplexes, we now have 3 cannonball corners in this show's not very long, so for them to have a bunch of moves, I guess there's only so many moves in wrestling, but maybe nobody else cares other than me. Anyway, Dark Order all now work together to get control back, and they quadruple team Pretty Peter Avalon, ending with a discus lariat from 10. And Uno gets the pinfall on Peter for the 1-2-3. Your winners are the Dark Order by pinfall in 7 minutes and 22 seconds. So I assume Dark Order was going to win that match, but I don't know why you wouldn't have had the Wingmen, especially with it looks like the Dark Order is dead in the water. They're just losing now. Alan 5 Angels is gone. It wasn't that long ago they lost Stu Grayson. I know they still got some guys, and I know Johnny Hungry's popular with the crowd, and the Dark Order is somewhat popular with the crowd. I don't find any enjoyment. I find zero entertainment out of the Dark Order. Meanwhile, the Wingmen are at least enjoyable as far as gimmicks. I don't like anything about the Dark Order, so I would have definitely preferred the Wingmen to get the win here, but what are you going to do? So that's it for Dark, and it was a pretty good episode. Don't forget, I already did the review for Dark Elevation and BTE being the elite, so go check that out. And then I'm about to watch Dynamite right now, so I'll try to be on as soon as I can when Dynamite ends live, and I'll be back here with the review of that. So until then, enjoy your night, enjoy Dynamite, and I'll talk to you again soon. Peace.